with this morning. We're going to do things a little differently than what I normally do, just because I want to. So today I am going to be testing out some of the dog bandana embroidery designs that I have. Or, well, we're going to test one of them here first to see if it works, and then, you know, we may move on to others. So, who the hell knows? But first, we are going to get, we're going to get our material prepped here. Give it just a nice little bit of a steam here almost. And for this dog bandana pattern, it actually is a over the collar dog bandana. So you slide your dog bandana, or your dog collar through the bandana. And it doesn't come off. Your dog can't lose it or anything like that. So I'm going to take here and I'm just going to cut a little bit of a piece here off of this. And then we'll go from there. This pattern, the dog bandana pattern itself is not my pattern. I actually found it on Pinterest. It's from C. Kate Sew, and this right here is what it essentially looks like, and then this comes in like 5 different sizes. So you basically just pick the size that you want to use, and there you have it. And as we all know, I have no problems scouring the remnant bins anywhere. This came from Joann's. Yeah, this came from Joann's. So we've got this really cute little puppy dog pattern. It's actually quite a bit of fabric there. Oh, it's exactly 1 yard. Exactly 1 yard. So, and with this particular pattern, it doesn't really matter which way it goes. So I'm just going to cut me a piece here real quick, and then we'll iron it out flat, make it all nice and pretty, and then we will cut out our bandana. And if you guys have been around my channel for any time at all, you know that I've never used my my Brother combo embroidery machine for sewing, so we're actually going to do that today. I have a livestock show that I signed up to be a vendor for next week, and so I'm actually going to take my combo machine with me so I can work on stuff while I'm there. And this is just water, no starch, nothing like that, it's just water. And there's really nothing more satisfying than hearing the sizzle of the water on the iron. It's perfect. Alrighty. So now we'll get, since this fabric here, it doesn't really matter what side it's on. I always cut my stuff together. That way everything is the same size. I need some pins. Did I not bring any pins in here? This is not my normal sewing area, so I don't have like everything that I should have in here. Because this is normally where I just do all of my embroidery. My sewing machine is in a completely different room. And like, you can get, depending on how the pattern is printed on a fat quarter, you can use a fat quarter to get one of every size in a dog bandana. Depending on if it's like a random, if it's a random pattern like this one is, if this was a fat quarter, I could get all five things cut out of it. If it was just an up and down, like if it was printed long ways like some of them are, I would only be able to get 4. But if it was printed one way long ways, then I could get 5 out of it. It just depends on, it all just depends on like how the fabric is printed. If you can get if you can get all 5 sizes out of a fat quarter or not. I'm going to put my hair up, it's hot. My hair was already in a ponytail, but I didn't have it like, it was a long ponytail, so that shit gets hot. Because I have a lot of hair. Okay. So, now we're going to cut this puppy out, and I need my good scissors for this. I don't want to struggle. I need my good scissors. Alrighty, so I bought these scissors from Walmart, and they're actually really, really nice. They're Westcott Carbo Titanium. These are fabric scissors from Walmart that, you know, I threaten everybody within an inch of their life if they touch my fabric scissors. Yeah. But, these are actually really, really good. I enjoy them a lot. I know people are like, why don't you just use the rotary? I don't like using my rotary on things like this. I like them. I was using a pair of old Ginger scissors. Like, my grandma gave them to me. She got a new pair. She gave me her old ones, and like, everybody swears by those, and I don't like them. I don't know. I'm weird. But I cut things out strange, so just bear with me here. When I printed off like 10 copies of all of these bandanas, and when I get ready to make bandanas, I have stacks, and so I sit and watch TV while I'm cutting them out. So how I sit and cut and how I'm standing here to cut are two very different ways of cutting. So it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then I will just take and snip that little end. Perfect. Now we've got our perfect little bandana, and now we'll come over this way. Alrighty, so now let's go for a bit of a field trip. Not really, but you know, it's a trip. So, as most of you know, maybe not, I don't know, if you've been following me any, you know that I use this as just my embroidery machine. Well, I'm not going to do that today. We're actually going to use this sucker to sew with. So I have to take my embroidery unit off. I'm just going to stick it right over there. Now, I don't exactly agree with the width of the sewing base here. It's not very big, and that could be why I just don't use it all that much. But, yeah. There we go. Because that's not very big. My regular sewing machine is very big. So go ahead, we'll turn it on here. And so taking the embroidery unit off clicks it over into sewing mode. So now I need to take my embroidery foot off. And it may or may not take a minute because it's on here pretty fucking tight. It kind of hurt, not gonna lie. And I'm just going to take that time to blow that out. It's got glitter and stuff up in it, so. Give that a little spray off. So I'm pretty sure the last thing that I used for that was, yeah. Okay. Go ahead and take this needle out. I'm not going to put it back in my package of Oregon needles, but I am just going to lay it there just like that. Because I'll end up putting it back on here in a minute. May as well put my bobbin thread in. Okay, so I think this is the right foot. I had two sewing foots, and I think this is the right one. Again, like I said, I've never used this machine for sewing, so I took the sewing foot off and never put it back on. Okay. I did turn off my auto cutter though, so I need to turn that back on. Oh no, I turned that off in the balls. Hopefully that was right. Alrighty. So, whoops. Fuck it all, man. So yeah, this may actually be a shit show. So, we might have fun here. And I don't have a needle in there. What did I do with my regular sewing needles? I left them in the other room. That's where they were. Okay. So let's get you up in here. Alrighty. Maybe not. Hi, Cynthia. Okay, if that's the way we're going to be, then that's okay. We just won't use the auto threader because I don't want to break it again. So I don't have time for that shit in my life. Okay. Perfect. Hopefully. We'll see how well this goes. Alright. Again, like I said, I have never used this machine for sewing, so I don't know. This may be a complete and utter shit show. I don't know what that does. There we go. Alright, so here we go. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. Maybe. Oh, hello. That's not what I wanted you to do, but okay. Whoa. Okay. Fine. The table is very bouncy. Okay, you didn't cut it, but fuck you. Alright, so that's the first part of what we need to do. And like, I would take and, actually, we can do the other parts first as well. So, I would actually get all of these to, the way I like to do things is I would get everything in my big batch, all of these pieces like this sewn, and then I would go back and I would do another step, and then another step, and then another step. So, just checking stitches, because some of them got a little thin, but that's okay. I don't care. We're just playing around. This is This is just a test of the emergency broadcasting system. You know. Okay, so now we take and we fold this little guy right here over, and we give it a press. And we fold this one over, and we give it a press. And now I have to stop and look at it for a second because it's been a minute since I've made any of these. Okay, so I'll sew those pieces. Or do I do the top stitch? Do the top stitch and then sew those pieces? We'll sew these pieces, then we'll do the top stitch and see how it turns out, because I don't remember. It's been about a year since I've made any dog bandanas, so I don't remember what the fuck I did. That's okay. And then we, oh fuck, that's hot. What? What? Okay, and we fold that little guy back over and press him down again. Alright, so now we'll move back over here. Actually, I think I'm going to put a pin right here in the middle. Just right there in the middle. Give me another one here. Sewing is not my strong suit, that's for sure. I like to do very, very simple and easy things. And to me, this is actually very simple and easy. There's what I consider hard is like anything that is rounded. Anything that has a curve to it, that is not my friend. I don't do curves, I don't do rounds. I do very simple straight lines. I do very simple straight lines. Because, yeah. Okay. So, we're going to sew this little edge right here. Does anybody else have to sew barefoot? I do. Wow. You're not moving at all. Why aren't you moving over that little hump? Are you stuck? Like I said, this is the first time I have ever used this machine to do any kind of sewing, and may just be me, user error and all, but I'm not impressed so far. It's like it's not going over. There we go. I got this. I hope so, because so far, it's really pissing me off. We're stuck. We are fucking stuck like Chuck, man. Alright. You son of a bitch. Here we go. Guess it's a good thing this is going to be, it's going to be for my dog, so that's okay. Like, it fucking cut up my bobbin. Like, what the fuck? Oh, kiss my ass. I know there's no needle plate. Okay, the freaking auto cutter is stuck open. That's what the problem is. Oh, you can laugh all you want. I know this is a shit show, and that's okay. Not everything is perfect. And I chose to do this on a live stream because I know a lot of you guys out there have this machine and you use it for sewing and not embroidery. Obviously, I use it for embroidery, not sewing. So bastard off. Ouch. And, you know, it could be, because, you know, ever since I got it back from the machine shop, that auto cutter just hasn't worked right, and I turned it off the other day when I was embroidering, and I forgot to turn it back on, so is it stuck out? It looks like it is, but I guess it's not. Oh, I love my Brother machines. I just don't... No, that is stuck out. The fuck is it stuck out? Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take you off. We're going to put this back on, and I'm going to turn the auto cutter back on if I can. the automatic thread cutter is stuck open. There we go. So now I'm going to put the needle plate back on. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. Let's just take a look at this. Okay, no, it is on. I don't know. I don't know. Oh well, it's fine. I do need to clean it though. While I'm in here, it's kind of gross. That actually right there may be the problem. Today, we are playing with, and I mean playing because at this point we haven't really done anything, using the actual sewing part of this machine. I've never used it before. So far, it's a shit show. But that's just because, yeah. It's really, really dirty down in here and all that jazz. My thread cutter was stuck open and was fucking shit up, and yeah. So, there we have it. Lessons on what not to do. Yeah, I have a brush. I just used it. Yeah, but the brush that I have doesn't, it's still a little too big to get down back behind and in these small spaces, so a Q-tip gets down in there really well. So, I don't like the brush the machine came with. I actually use old makeup brushes that I've never used. They work really good too, because they have nice long bristles and all that good stuff. So, okay. Alright. Oops. Now we'll try this again. Perfect. Perfecto. You're welcome. So yeah, that pretty well chewed up the one side of this, but again, that's okay. We're just testing, playing, all that good stuff. And my dog doesn't give a shit. Just as long as he has his clothes, he's fine. Oh, he heard me say clothes. He's been following me around since I started getting stuff together. He knows what the pattern looks like, and he knows when I'm fixing to start making them, because he's that fucking smart. Okay, that worked a little bit better. All right. Of course, we're just gonna go for broke here. We are making dog bandanas. First of all, we are testing out this dog bandana because I've been working on some embroidery designs for dog bandanas. So I actually just wanted to see what one would look like a finished one with the design on it. And I don't know, I just have this feeling. I don't like the needle I've got in here. It feels something about, oh, fuck. You guys, I didn't fucking screw down the needle plate. What the fuck? I wondered why it was moving. Fuck a duck. Yes, I'm sewing it together first, and then here in just a second, actually, we're going to put it in the, we're going to embroider on it. I can't believe I forgot to fucking do this. Like, good God. I swear I'm not a noob. I am not a newbie. I know what I'm doing. I'm sure somebody will make a video about this. Oh my God, did you see what she did today? I'm just having... It's been a rough fucking start to the month. Like, Jason's daughter moved out, and then we found out she's got some secret boyfriend that abso-fucking-lutely nobody knows about. He's in another state. She doesn't know anything but his first name. Yeah. So it is screaming pedo all over it. She may be 18 years old, but when it's all said and done, she's 12 years old, if that. Her age is 18, but she is 12 years old mentally. And you cannot convince her at all whatsoever that this person is not a good person. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we are there. So it's been a lot of fucking drama here in this house, and I don't even know what to do anymore. Like, that's a lot of the reason why we were just like, fuck it, go live with your mom. She can deal with this bullshit. Because, like, yeah. She would freak out if anybody got near her phone. Or if you even asked her about her phone, she would freak out and start screaming at everybody. And then it was always, I'm 18, I can do what I want. I'm 18, I can do what I want. Well, you know, you may be 18, but you cannot do what you want. Let's just throw that out there right now. Okay, I think I was supposed to top stitch first. Like I said, it's been about a year since I've made any of these, and I kind of forgot the steps on what I was supposed to do, and I think I was supposed to do this top stitch first. And that's it. She, honestly, she thinks that she's going to college. Like, you know, her IEP is so heavily modified for school right now that I don't honestly think that she would be able to make it in college. Even though they tell her that her IEP will carry over and all that, I don't. But it only carries over for her, like, her basic classes. And I don't think, like, her and her mom don't understand that, I guess. And it's, I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely something about the whole situation doesn't feel right. Like, she's got this guy in a Discord server, and the Discord servers, you have to, you know, you have to be invited in and all that good stuff. Exactly. Okay, so now we are going to take all this shit off, and we're going to put our embroidery unit back on. I know, right? Lots of switching back and forth. And then, when we are done with the embroidery part, we're going to put the sewing part back on. So, like I said, I typically use this machine for embroidery only, because it's a lot of switching back and forth. It's a lot of switching back and forth. Alright, so we're going to start here by taking our foot back off. Hi, how are you? I'm going to put this one back on. Maybe. I'm going to hold it down, that's right. Maybe. There we go. Ooh, fun. Well, okay, so I've got a livestock show that I'm doing next week for a vendor event, and it's like 4 days. It's 4 days straight from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll take this machine with me because my booth has electricity. So I'll take this machine with me, and I can be making dog bandanas. I can do some bowl cozies, hot potato pads, all that kind of stuff while I'm sitting there, because, yeah, from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. every day, that's a long fucking day to not have anything to do. So I figure, you know, why not? Let's learn how to use this as a machine. This in half. I'm going to give it just a little bit of a little press here. not anything drastic. I just want to be able to see where the center of everything is. So there's that. Where's my hoop? Here's my hoop. That's not my hoop. That's not the hoop I want. So where's my good hoop? Fuck if I know. I guess we're using this one. Okay. I need some cutaway stabilizer. So I need to get all of my stuff here out of the bloody way. Put you there. I need you guys over there. You can go back over there too. And like, I know this table is not the table that I will be taking with me. For obvious reasons, the table stays here. But the table that I will be using is kind of like this. So it does have a little bit of a jiggle to it, but I hope it's not going to be anything that's really bad. Thank you guys for the follows. And I know it's a lot earlier than when I normally start, but I was just sitting here doing nothing, so I figured why the fuck not, right? Okay, so there's that. Get back out. Get back out here. I wish I had one of the machines that did like the projection. I would really like that, but I'm not that rich, so and this is something that you never see me do. I'm actually pinning shit down. Like, you never see me pin anything down. Because I'm always afraid my dumbass is going to go over it. And I've done that before. That's kind of why. When you have pieces of pin flying at your face, you tend to kind of shy away from it. Yeah. Because I'm a dumbass. But that's okay. So, okay, let's take a look at this one here. Okay, so this is the design that we're going to be putting on here, because this is 100% my pup. He is so fucking spoiled. But what did I use on here? I think I'm I'm gonna wing it here. We're just gonna wing it. We're gonna see what's gonna happen, and hopefully the cutaway is enough. If it's not, then whatever, it's fine. That's why I have material that I'm not worried about. Okay, so colors. We're going to use black and I don't know. Black and white, maybe? Yeah, I think so. Alright, so white is going to be our first color. And we'll end up putting white back on here again, because I want it to have, or do I want it to have black doggy ears because he's a black pup? I don't know. We shall see. And like the whole dilemma that I've been having with stabilizers and stuff with this is because it has to turn inside out. We have to turn it back inside out after we get through sewing it, and this is just so it's stiff, so I don't know. That's why we are looking at things here. Like, I see problems already. Okay. It's like, I consulted lots of different people on how they stitch on cotton, and I got about 50 different ways of doing it, so it's just kind of like winging it at this point, because you would have one person say do it this way, the other person would say, oh no, don't do it like this, do it like this, and then I think I had about 300 people comment on that post, and not a single one of them said to do it the same way twice. So I'm just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Actually, I think I should have put tearaway in the hoop, and should have put some tearaway in the hoop, and then maybe some sticky stabilizer. Let's see here. You never fucking know, right? Why not? Let's see if there's enough left on this spool to finish everything off. That was interesting. Actually looking a little bit better with that sticky. So maybe I need to put sticky in the hoop. Fuck, I don't know. Because that sticky stabilizer makes it really stiff. Because that's what I did here. On this one, it's got sticky stabilizer down first and then the cutaway. So maybe if I sticky stabilized and tearaway stabilized, it'll be okay. Decisions, and more decisions. spool will just pop up here and put in some little black doggy ears and okay. So now that's done. It doesn't look great. Doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great. Like, I have no problems letting my dog wear this because, yeah. But, I definitely would not sell this to anybody. Alrighty, so let's trim our stitches here. Get our jump stitches. It's not as stiff as this, but this design looks better than this one. So, yeah, okay. So I'm definitely thinking next go round, it will be, I'm going to try. Oh, fuck, I just cut through my bandana. Oh, well, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to try to just do tearaway and then we'll do tearaway and then we'll do the sticky stabilizer so we can just tear it all away. Okay, so now I need to get everything lined up here nice and neatly. So no, it's the same size. I didn't mess with any of it. So, like, just about everybody that was telling me what I needed to do in my embroidery Facebook group, they were like, no, don't use tearaway, you need to use cutaway. So I was like, okay, you know, I'll use cutaway. But I'm telling you right now, it's not working. And yeah, so that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking tear away everything. Like, I didn't think about the sticky stabilizer because this is not, I don't work with regular fabric. I stitch on felt and faux leather, so I don't work with fabric. So I wasn't, that was really what I was wanting to know, was what do you use on fabrics? Well, and then everybody was so shitty. I'm just like, fuck. That's why I don't ask questions to, you know, people that have been doing this for a while. I don't ask questions because they look at you like you're fucking stupid. And, like, one person goes, seriously? You don't know how to stitch out on cotton? That's the first thing you learn. No, actually it's not. I do not learn that way. I am a very specific, project learner. So I will learn everything I need to know about a specific project before I do said project. So I learned everything I needed to learn about stitching felties, designing felties. I learned all that. Learned it all. Well, not all of it, but, you know, everything that I needed to know, I learned it. And so now you're telling me that I'm stupid. Thank you. But yeah. So I do believe it is tear away all the way. Tear away all the way. Okay. So now we're going to switch everything back over to sewing. That is exactly what I think. That is exactly what I think. You do you, boo-boo. You don't worry about what I'm doing. If I'm doing it wrong in your eyes, then I guess I'm doing it wrong in your eyes. But if it's working for me, fucking leave me alone. That's what I think about that. I mean, I'm not gonna judge you if you're doing something completely different than what I'm doing. That's not for me to decide. You know, I have never, ever once got on anybody's page, anybody's posts, or anything like that and said, that's wrong, you're doing it wrong. No, never. Never done it. Never, ever done it. Because everybody learns differently. Everybody does things differently. Everybody has their own methods of doing things. And all that jazz. So, here's your rant for the day. Do, 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 do. Yes, this is also a sewing machine. You just have to make sure that you take the embroidery base off. You change out your feet. Like, this is the embroidery foot, and then this is the regular sewing foot. I think that's the sewing foot. I don't know. If we want to be real honest, this is the first time I've used this machine that way. This is not the PE800. This is the SE625. PE800 does not sew. It is just embroidery. May as well go ahead and put this in there. definitely need to take this out to the other table that I will be using to see if it's more sturdy. Because I know I use it for, I use the other table when I embroider, but not like when I do anything else, so. This one is actually really inexpensive. I got this one at Walmart for less than $400. So, if you think you need another machine, then I recommend it. I like it. The new model is a 630. You motherfucker. There we go. But like I have a Bernina sewing machine, so I don't use this machine to sew with. This is what happens when I get wild hairs up my ass to do things. Yeah. So, fun times, right? Fun times. Let's move that over there. And I also, yeah, I sew barefoot because I can't sew with shoes on. Don't ask me why, I just cannot. Oh, wrong button. There we go. Bouncy, 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 bouncy. This table bounces a lot. It's got a lot of jiggle. It's got a lot of jiggle in it. But I think it's because it doesn't have the supports in it like a regular size table does. This is a tall, like a bar height table. So that's what I think anyway. Oh, fuck. I don't have, normally I have a guide right here on the side of my machine, and I don't have a guide. So, I can't sew straight lines to save my life. Just thought I'd let you guys know that. Because this is not straight at all. Because I'm going to have to go back and redo this. Fuck. Okay. Shit. Shit. It looks terrible. You look terrible. So terrible. Did we do it again? Yes, we did. Maybe I didn't cut it straight. That's always a possibility. I promise, I really do know how to make these. I make these all the time. I sell a lot of these too. But again, I'm using a different machine. I'm using a machine I don't normally use. And that is what the problem is. Let's go slower this time. There we go. Now it's straight. Now we're straight. Jeez, it's gonna be fucked up. Oh well, he doesn't care. He don't care. Do ya? He's asleep. Little brat. And this right here is the whole problem with everything. I can't find replacement blades. I'm pretty sure my blade is dull, and I can't find a replacement blade. And yeah, I don't know where to order it from. They don't have them on Amazon. All that jazz. I wonder if Jason could just sharpen it. I wonder if he could take it out and just sharpen it. Maybe, I don't know. Make sure our pieces stay together. Because they do like to move. Okay, so now that we've got that done, you're back. Okay, so now that we've got that part done, we're going to turn this little guy inside out. So we've got everything sewn together. Pay no mind to the disaster that my thread looks like. So yeah, and this right here is the whole reason why I don't want this to be so stiff. Hi, Kathy. Is because we've got to turn it inside out. And it's already a bitch to turn it inside out. So I don't want it to be any more difficult than it already is. This fabric is cute. I got it in a remnant bin at Joann's. And then we just pull everything out. And like, I don't sew the little tip part there, just because it kind of stays tucked up inside once it's folded out. And then we do a top stitch around it again, so it gets stitched down. And then, of course, you know, I cut through the damn thing, but that's okay. It's alright. It's okay. And I use a big Tunisian crochet hook to get that point. But now I need to stick some of it back inside there. Can't believe I cut through that damn thing. You're absolutely right. Everything does go wrong. Especially when you're not doing your normal routine. And I am very much a routine-driven individual. I have to have routine. So I'm off my routine. So it's just kind of like, Alright, so now I'm going to iron these corners and stuff. And stuffs. And then we will do our finishing top stitch around the edge. And then I will grab my model. Dog bandanas. We are making dog bandanas today. Alright, I had to get my guide. So, if you guys suck at straight lines like I do, you need one of these. This is a seam guide. And it clips to the metal, and you just bump it right up against, or I bump it right up against my foot, and I get straight lines. Yes, this is the kind the collar goes through. I've got another couple of designs that we're going to do here after this, so we'll make some more. Like, from start to finish, we'll make some more. It's called a seam guide. I got it on Amazon. Got it like a 2-pack for like $10 or something like that a couple years ago. Yeah, you can use it. It's metal. All it is, it's a magnet. And it's a strong little sucker too. So yeah, all it is, it's just a magnet, and it clips to your needle plate. As long as your needle plate is metal, it's going to clip to it. God, that looks terrible. Okay. Your Walmart, Amazon list. You know, I honestly do not know what to do without mine. Ow! God bless a fucking America. I just jabbed the needle in my finger. No. Nope, it does not. This is going to be a great YouTube replay, let me tell you. Ugh, that hurt. My finger has a heartbeat, Mom. Okay, let's get this sucker done here. Brownykins. Hey, come here. You want to try on some new clothes? So that's what it looks like when it's finished, minus the learning mistakes, since we're using this machine differently. My normal machine isn't like this. Trust me, it's not. Hey, hey, you want to try it on? Come here. Come here, boo-boo. Come here. Come on. Oh, okay. Can you sit? Can you sit for me? Can you sit, please? Can you listen? Can you do anything? Are you frozen? It's on your butt. Oh, no, he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips and a Coke and everything. So, you take your collar off, and these are made to be sized with whatever size collar your dog wears, is what the opening is sized for. The original pattern shows that you do a top stitch across here. I don't like the way it looks. So, yeah, I think it looks ugly. So I just slide his collar through here. Will you stop? Use a shit. He is. Oh, thank you so much. You're such a good boy. I love you. You're so beautiful. And then it just goes just like that. Normally, I think, see, this is a small bandana. Normally I give him an extra small. You're so pretty. I love you. And then it kind of does bunch up a little bit, but that's just because that's just the way it goes. But I'll send him outside, and he won't lose that little sucker. But his, I think he's wearing an extra small collar today. Oh, thank you. What the hell you got going on with your beard, sir? What have you been into? You are a mess. You're a mess. You need a face cut. Yeah, we need to get you a face cut. You're welcome. Oh, what is that? You got stickers? You got stickers in your beard? Let me see. No, that's just your whiskers are pokey. Hey, you want me to make you another one? I'll make him another one. Yeah. Let's make him another one. Yeah. You want another one? Tell him mugga mugga. Mugga mugga. Been digging his way to China. The big one is outside digging his way to China as we speak. I can see him out the door, or out the window. He's apparently on the hunt for a gopher trail. I don't know. I do not have this on there yet. I've been having a hell of a time getting them tested. I don't release anything until I am 100% comfortable that I can, tell you guys how to do it correctly. But we're going to try another one here. Will you stop licking me, you little weirdo? Come on, get off my table. You're banished from my table. Yeah, okay. I love you too. Yeah, I love you. All right, stop it, weirdie. You got your new clothes. Take a hike. I'll make you another one here in just a second. Oh, so now you need to go outside and show everybody your new clothes. No. You're stuck with me. You're stuck like Chuck, dude. Okay. I give him mixed emotions all the time. He gives me mixed signals, so, we're just repaying the favor. You was all dirty. You're so dirty. Alrighty. Get my shit clean here since he's got red mud and sand all over the place. Okay. So now, this is the pattern that I use. I downloaded this off of Pinterest, but the website is C Kate Sew. And this pattern comes in 5 different sizes. It's extra small all the way up to extra large. I put the extra large on my German Shepherd, and it fits him perfectly. And like I said, I normally put the extra small on Braun, but don't touch me. Don't lick me. But, yeah. Okay. So, this is what we're going to do real quick. We're going to put our other designs on the thing here. As soon as I find them. Where is my... Okay, we're going to open those. Like, this has basically become an obsession at this point of trying to make sure that I figure this shit out. Because I'm almost out of dog bandanas. I just have Christmas dog bandanas left, but I wanted to offer new stuff, and yeah, so hold on, I'll let you out just a minute. I'm going to need you to just cool your little heels, buddy. Because I guarantee those other dogs do not care if you have clothes on. Good morning! Go get them. Go and get them. Up and at 'em, boy. Okay, so I think I'm going to do a different design this time. So, we all know that I treat my dog like my kid. So, I bought some Paw Patrol material. Actually, I bought this Paw Patrol material to make, those are the girls. We're not going to do the girls. I bought this to make hair bows with, but the patterns are actually a little bit... What? Poor dog my ass. He gets treated better than anybody in the house. I think I'm going to do this one. I think I like that one the best. You know, my mom, when I was growing up, my mom had a Pekingese, and we all hated that dog because it was very apparent that she loved that dog more than she loved her children. Which is absolutely not true. She just treated that dog. I don't even know. Like, we hated that dog, right? I completely understand where she's coming from now. She says he eats what I give him and he doesn't talk back. It's true. He eats what I give him and he doesn't talk back. And, yeah, I couldn't agree more. I could not agree more. Oh gosh, my grandma had a peekapoo. That sumbitch was mean. Like, I have scars on my feet where he would bite me. Like, you'd just be walking, and he would just attack you for no fucking reason. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, the Huskies will do it. Oh, that's great. All right, so like I said, we're going to start this process from start to finish. Don't mind my ironing board. It's dirty. I need to wash the pad. So I can get 5 bandanas out of 1 fat quarter. She senses the evil. That's great. That's great. So, out of a fat quarter, I can get 5 bandanas, 1 of each size. So that would go to say, you know, a fat quarter is a quarter of a yard. So I would be able to get 4 bandanas of each size out of 1 yard of fabric. But there is a little bit of a but. If your pattern runs up and down like this, you may or may not be able to. Because, like, depending on which way this has to go, like, I have the extra small usually fits up, like, I've got my extra large and my small up here, and then my large and my medium down here at the bottom, and then my extra small usually has to flip upside down. So, depending on which way everything is working, it may not fit. So sometimes I just leave out the extra small, or I just buy more fabric. But for right now, we are going to iron this shit out. Jezebel. Just love how it does that nice little sizzle and steams. I think that's my favorite part. I would iron everything in my house. Oh, I am going the direction of the dogs in the print. I was just saying that sometimes it all depends on the direction that your dogs are going, or that your print is going. Like this print is going all directions. It's just like a randomized pattern. So in order to get all 5 on there, I could no problem do that, because I always end up having to flip one upside down when I'm using a fat quarter. But like if you're using full yards, then it's not going to matter. You put your glasses on. No problem. Okay, so we've got this nice and ironed. So move this down here. And I'm just going to cut a piece of this off. And These scissors, they freaking cut like butter. I love them. I got them from Walmart. I know. You got those from Walmart? Fuck yeah, I got them from Walmart. And they cut very good, too. They're a carbon titanium. They're very nice. They're very, very nice. Okay. And then, of course, this is just a scrap piece of red. And then for this one, we are going to try... We're going to try the tearaway on tearaway. I got it at Walmart. My Walmart is a shitty Walmart. It's not... Okay, let's back up here. It's not a bad Walmart. It's just a shitty Walmart. No, it's on the craft aisle. Where you get, like, your thread and stuff. I think it was like $12 or $13. It wasn't very expensive at all. My Walmart store is the only Walmart in 30 miles, all 4 directions. So you have to, if you want to go to another store, like the nearest town, the what we would call a city, is literally 30 minutes from anything. So, yeah. But we just have it's just a small, I mean, it's not even a small Walmart. It's a relatively decent sized Walmart. They just don't keep things stocked very well because, you know, there's so many different people coming from all over to go to Walmart. So it always looks like the apocalypse has happened. And then, of course, you know, the fabric section. They're supposed to be changing over to a pre-cut yard sort of thing, but they haven't yet, which is kind of upsetting because I drive 45 minutes to another store just to buy their pre-cut bundles. So, and like normally when I do these, when I printed this pattern off, I printed off like 10 copies so I could make a bunch at one time. So normally I sit and cut everything out. The only pre-cuts that my store has is the pre-cut poly cotton. And when you're embroidering, you don't want to use poly cotton. You want to use 100% cotton. And like the fat quarters are always, they're always empty. Like I had somebody asking me for Pioneer Woman stuff, and I'm like, we don't have Pioneer Woman fabric at my store. So I actually found some at the store I went to yesterday. Which I was not impressed with the price at all. Like, the patterns weren't, the pattern of the fabric wasn't all that great. But, yeah. Well, no, it never sells. It's freaking $8 for a pre-cut yard. Like, I can find better shit at Hobby Lobby and Joann's. And we all know that I hate Joann's. Yeah. Like, my first job right out of high school was at Walmart. I worked at Walmart, and I actually liked it. Our Walmart was in the mall. So, yeah, it was nice. The whole back corner of what would be like the garden center and most of the toy department in my store was the fabric and craft department. It was freaking huge. Like, I remember going and picking out fabric with my grandma, and it's like we would be lost for hours and hours. You know, I'm not really a fan of the Pioneer Woman stuff. Everybody's like, you live in Oklahoma, have you tried the restaurant? No. I've never even watched the show, put it that way. But then again, I'm one of those people that, like, if somebody is really hyping up something like movies and whatnot, I'm not going to go watch it, because chances are it's just going to disappoint. So, I don't know, that may be... Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I need to go and grab... Yeah, she was like, Cooking Channel or Food Network star or something like that. And she's got her own cooking channel. The pattern came from C. Kate Sew. I found it on Pinterest, and that's where it took me. I need to go grab my red thread. And of course, since I don't have any plastic spools, I'm going to have to spool up some of this real quick. All of my my regular thread is metal bobbins, so I said spools, didn't I? It's whatever. It's fine. Oh, she does have her own channel now? Go figure. Like, I don't know. That's just me. I don't... Oh, wow. You didn't even fill up all the way before you stopped. Whatever. That's fine. I need to move my... little thing out there. Alrighty. So with this, particular design. I think it's a little bit easier to sew most of it and then put our embroidery design on it and then finish sewing it. Normally I would say, hey, just put your piece here on there already cut out so you know where it needs to go. But I'm not going to do that. So, and of course, I think I failed to mention that, you know, I cut everything as one. That way everything lines up and matches nicely. Because I'm OCD like that. And I'm kind of crazy. God, this thing freaking... it's on there good. Okay. No. I need you to line up. I guess I'm going to put a pin in you right down here because you're not behaving yourself. Okay. Yes, I will embroider on this one. I just get them sewn together before I do that. Because I think it's, I don't know, I think it's just a little bit easier to do it that way. Yeah. Okay. So we've got that piece. We're all together. So now I'm going to open this up here. I'm going to iron this flat here real quick. Easier said than done. But it is a little bit easier to do with this little baby iron. This little teeny tiny iron does make it a little bit easier. Sometimes. Okay. So now we're going to do a little bit of a top stitch really quick. Make sure everything is nice and even Steven. Iron our little crease down there. Okay, you didn't miss anything. All we did was I ironed our seam there, and then ironed this back down So we are going to do a top stitch across here, and then we are going to, after that, we're going to fold in our little sides. Just want to make sure that everything is where it should be. And all that jazz. Take my shoe off because I can't sew with it on. What, 3 layers of what? I guess it all just depends on what it is that you're going to be, going through, actually. So, honestly, I would embroider the cotton first before you sew it together, or get it all cut out like I did here, and then embroider on it. If your heat batting is really thin, then yeah, it'll work. I wouldn't do like more than 2 layers though. Unfortunately, this pattern irons a lot. It irons a lot, so. But that's okay. It's alright, it's okay. So now we're going to take our little tabs here. Honestly, that's what I would do. That's what I'm doing right now. So, sounds good to me. Let's not touch them right after we, iron them. Like, I really don't have much in the way of feelings in my fingers anyway because of hot glue and irons and all that good stuff, but, maybe I should keep what I do have. Jason Malone, leave me alone. I'm just going to hang up on his ass. Okay, and then we take and we fold it over again. I love this little iron. Like, I had somebody tell me that I needed to get one of those little itty bitty like pleat press whatevers And I'm like, no, that's okay, I'm good. That I was doing it all wrong. Everybody likes to tell you what you're doing wrong, rather than telling you what you're doing right. I got it. I got this at Walmart. It was like $13. In the... He just wanted to talk for a few minutes. Okay, whatever. Whatever. I don't care. So yeah, we're going to flip this over. And press it down again. You can get them on Amazon too, but, you know, they're a little more, I think they were around like the $20 mark or something like that, but they were like travel irons. They weren't fabric irons. Like, I guess any iron is a fabric iron, huh? But, fuck, you know what I mean. I don't know. It's still pretty small. I think it's pretty cute for my little Paw Patroller. My little pup boogie is what I call him. My nephews were all about the Paw Patrol, so, you know, we know about the Paw Patrol. And actually, it's one of the cuter shows that they watched, so. So I'm okay with it. The only thing I don't like is the fact that we get this really thick part right here. So it may be a little difficult to sew over. I hope not, but I'm not holding my breath. So slow and steady wins the race. There we go. I love my Brother embroidery machines. Like, I know a lot of people don't like Brother machines, and I don't understand why. That's just, I don't know why. I don't understand it. But, you know, everybody has, to each his own. That's all I got to say about that. To each his own. I mean, I hate Singer sewing machines. Absolutely hate them. I think they're trash. But that is coming from years of owning them, and they just don't last very long. Like, my mom has some of the Singer heavy-duty machines, and they don't last. They just don't last. She's got like 4 of them right now that they're nothing more than parts. heard a lot of good things about genomes. I don't have the only sewing shop that is near me is like an hour and a half away, and they just sell brother and baby locks. And they have some Juki sewing machines, and they have some genome sewing machines, but they don't have genome embroidery machines, because I like to be able to, okay, so the way that I did that before was the correct way. Perfect. So, when it's all said and done, the way I did the other one was I sewed these pieces first, and then I did the top stitch, because now it's going to look funky with that top stitch already on there. But that's okay. You know, it's just for my dog. He doesn't give a shit. So, okay. Now I am going to do a quick little crease here so we know where the center is. And then we will switch everything out and back to our embroidery machine. And you know, I always forget that I have this heat press mat. I always forget I have it. Okie dokie. Okie dokie hokey pokey. Where's my shit? Okay, so I don't need you. It's a Cricut heat press. A Cricut Easy Press mat. Yeah, I don't know. I have one of the big Cricut press thingies, and that's what I use it for. So, but it's really handy dandy to use for just little quick ironing and stuff like that. It's nice to travel with. So I'll need to make sure that I take that with me. Thread here. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't do it all that often. Normally, I don't use this machine for anything but embroidery, but I figured I may want to learn how to use the sewing part of it, because I am going to a livestock show that is having a vendor event, and it's like, let's see, it's like 12 hours. It's like yeah, it's going to be open for 12 hours for 4 days. So I'll be fucking bored. So I can at least be sitting there doing things, you know. Okay, so now we are going to use some sticky stabilizer. This sticky stabilizer is a tearaway stabilizer, so, you know, party, right? And then we're going to use some regular tearaway stabilizer. Just because I think we'll get the stabilization that we need. It doesn't matter about rubbing against anything because it's going to be inside the bandana. So I don't need cutaway or anything like that. So yeah. Get my shits out of the way here because I got stuff all over the place. I may or may not have some characters that do not come on the Disney machine, but we don't talk about that here. We don't talk about Bruno, you know, stuff like that. So we don't get in trouble, and that's all I say about that. But wouldn't we all? Wouldn't we all? Like, I wanted, the first machine that was on my list was not this machine. I actually was going to get the Disney machine, but I just couldn't justify, like, it was like $800 versus this one that was $400. So, yeah, I went with this one instead. Plus, I wasn't going to have to wait for it. Alrighty. Thank you guys for the follows. I haven't been paying attention to that shit. Whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay. So, I need to cut this. We're just going to do a little score line here. You can upload. Yes and no. It just kind of depends on what you're embroidering. If it's just some simple lines like we're going to be doing on this design, it doesn't take much. But if it is something that takes a lot of like satin fills and stuff like that, well, you know what? I don't want to do this one. I don't want to do this one because that kind of defeats the purpose of the sticky shit. We'll do this one. That is true. The more you do your presser foot changing and stuff like that, kind of the quicker you become at it. So okay, which one of these is I think I may have done this wrong. True. Very true. You do not need a Disney-specific machine to upload. Well, let's just hope that that is centered. If it's not, again, Braun doesn't give a shit. I'll just do it like this. All right, so I might have enough black here. You know, adjusting the tension is scary. Like, I hate doing it. But yes, it is a little nerve-wracking, that's for sure. You get to sew with me today. Too true. Too true. Which I have some keychains and stuff that I need to test out. I don't want to because I just want to get these dog bandanas down. Like, I want to get these dog bandanas just down. Oh, you son of a bitch. What the balls? Like, everything that could go wrong is going wrong today. Ugh. What do you mean you're not seeing anything? I don't know if I saw your key fobs or not. I haven't exactly been on TikTok a whole lot the last few days. Like, I think I streamed maybe twice last week. This does take a while. But that's okay. That is okay. I do not mind. Let's see here. That is actually a red heart. I think I might do pink. Should I do pink? Or should I just do white? Because I don't think red will look very good. White. White it is. Because there's no pink in the top fabric, so. I mean, and honestly, I don't know if I really should be using a patterned fabric like this on the other side, because that's kind of something that I would do if that was it. If that was intended to be the star of the show. I don't know. Let's see. I think I'll do orange and blue for, or should I do blue and green, since the front here you'll be seeing more blue and more green. I think blue and green. And I'm sure that this is entirely way too much thought going into the whole thing, but I don't fucking care. Like I said, I treat my dog better than I treat the children. Let's just put that... No, I said green, not orange. What the fuck am I doing? Okay, so let's see. Where's my other... I'm thinking maybe a lime green? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do it! And that's the fun. That is the fun with doing these. You know? Okay, so when I originally digitized this design file, it's done in orange. It's done in orange and it's done in teal. That's where I got orange. Plus, orange and blue actually do look good together. That's where I got the orange from. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, but that's, you know, that's why the design file that I downloaded, this design file was straight black. Like, this was an SVG file that was meant for, cutting vinyl on a Cricut. It was all black. So, I just chose colors, but, like, leaving the different color stops as different colors makes it easier for anybody to customize it to whatever, whatever fabrics it is that they're using. So, like these tester ones that I did, whatever I've done with them here. Come on. So, like, this is what it looked like originally. Okay, cool, right? And then the other one that I was going to do on this one, it says, treats welcome. Well, you know, if you've got a little girl pup, you don't necessarily, you know, want it stitched out in boy colors. Or you do you, that's fine. But this is the original on that one. So, you know, each color stop is different for a reason. That way you guys can customize your colors to whatever it is that you want to do. So there you have it. That is why I do the things I do. I did have somebody on a felty design that I did Etsy made me remove it because the customer complained. Don't ask me why. Like, the customer literally complained because there were too many color stops. And she didn't want to be changing her thread that much. Well, ma'am, you don't have to. If you wanted to do it in all black, you would just do it in all black. There's nothing saying that you can't. So yeah. It was stupid. What do you mean make it start at a certain point? Not necessarily. Like, if I wanted to stop this and move down to the next color, I would just on the machine over here, you would just hit this button right here. Oh, don't talk to me that way. You just hit your button there, and you can, this is for your colors. So if you wanted to, like, say, if something messed up or whatnot, and you needed to go back and, like, recover, like if your bobbin thread came up, you got it fixed, but you want to backtrack a little bit, you would push your minus up here, and it'll take you back 1, 10, or 100 stitches. That way you can cover that bobbin thread. If that makes any sense. But yes, it is programmed to start at a certain point. This machine came from Walmart. And I think, you know, for me, because we have almost a 10% tax rate here in the town that I live in. It was around the $400 mark. And then, of course, you know, we did get the protection plan and stuff like that Walmart offers. Not that it's really going to do anything, but, you know, it's always nice to have, right? Okay, so here we are so far. I really like that blue. I hate blue, but I like that blue. It looks nice on the red. And these actually, you know, when you're making just one, it does seem like it does take a longer time. But if if you're doing a bunch of them, and you do like the assembly line process like I do, it really doesn't take as long. It starts next Monday. So Monday through Thursday, I will not be doing any kind of lives or anything like that. Although, I might. You never know. It just depends. I may pop on for a little bit here and there. Who knows? They do have to be serviced about once a year. I might be on tomorrow. I'm not sure. Tomorrow's Thursday, right? Yeah. I might. Depending on what machine you have, you find a licensed service dealer for your machine. Most of the time, if you have a sewing machine shop near wherever you live, most generally they also service. But always, always, always make sure that they are licensed to work on your machine. Like, the place that I take my machines to is also where I bought my other machine. I have a bigger machine. I bought it from there. I had this one in being serviced when I bought my other one. But, like, if they damage anything on it, then, you know, brother will cover that. But if a just random person that, you know, works on sewing machines or is good with mechanical things, works on it, if your machine is still under warranty, you just voided that warranty, and yeah, bad things happen. So always make sure that whoever services your machines are actually licensed to service them. But it's only got to happen like once a year, so. Alrighty. This This one did take a little bit longer than the other one, but that's okay. It's a little more detailed. It's a little cuter. Not really sure what happened there, but okay. So now's the moment of truth. Now we are going to see here if this stabilization process worked. I'm not going to say I'm not a fan, because I really do kind of like this sticky stabilizer. It works a lot better than the iron-on shit. But, like, this stuff doesn't stay stuck to it for very long before it's pulling up, and I guess I should have probably pinned it down like I did the other one, right? Okay, whatever. Yeah, it probably would be a lot easier if the babies weren't in the lap. Mine's outside getting muddy, so that's going to be fun. Thank you for sharing the live. So I like using these little tweezers here, and actually I can just go ahead and pop that out. We're not going to be using this anymore. We aren't. But like, it's really easy to use these to pull up the things, the tearaway stabilizers and stuff, because they've got those nice sharp little pinchers. Some of these bobbin thread jump stitches just so I can... Oh yeah, that is so much more pliable already. I'm going to leave the heart, since it's got just the run stitches in it. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to mess with it. We're just going to get this big piece right here. And there we go. Perfect. They are sharp, but they work so well. Like, you know, they're not just for a cricket. You can use them for all kinds of shit. Haven't turned this over yet to see what it looks like on the front. I'm a little nervous. I'm nervous. And then, like, the great thing about these little bandanas, you know, you can throw them in the washing machine. And if you're like me, you still iron them back out flat, because your little man has to look his absolute best all the time. Like, we went to Hobby Lobby the other day, and they were just in shock because he wasn't wearing anything. Hobby Lobby is one of his favorite places to go, which is funny. So he started going to Hobby Lobby with me because PetSmart is right next door to Hobby Lobby. So, you know, PetSmart, great. And then when I found out that Hobby Lobby was pet friendly, I was like, oh, fuck yes. Oh, yes, please. So, at least the Hobby Lobby in my town is pet friendly. Joanne's is pet friendly. He just likes to go for car rides. You know, I don't leave the house much because I don't want to. But when I do, he goes with me. He gets his exercise. And he gets to be fawned all over. So, you know, the whole happy wife, happy life, happy brawn, happy life. Let me tell you, he's a little demon child. I may not have needed to do all of this, but you know what? I'll leave that just to see what it looks like. Just to see. Alright, moment of truth. What does this shit look like on the front? It actually looks pretty good. Got a little bit of puckering, but I think that's just going to be, you know, myself thinks that any little bit is too much, but, I don't know. It's got just a little bit, but I think it's just going to have that around anything that's got a satin column. So, okay. Moving the fuck on. So, before we move it on, I think it's going to look cute. I think he'll look cute in it. He looks cute in everything, though. We don't play favorites or anything like that, you know? Jason tells me, you know you can't play favorites with the kids, right? Watch me. Watch me. Alright, so we'll give this a quick little press down, and like I said, this is and it may be just because it's me, and I like to press everything, but I just make sure everything is nice and pressed down again because, you know, we have been using it to do other things with, and we want to make sure that it all stays together the way that it should. Okay. So now we've got that. We're going to let that do its thing over there. Just go ahead and thread our needle, no big deal. Alrighty. this is not, like, my other sewing machine is so much bigger than this. I think they have, like, pieces that you can buy to extend your top range there. I don't have one. I need one. I just don't have one. Alright. So now we're going to change our presser foot again for the last time. And then we will finish this little guy up. Tighty-righty, lefty-loosey. Sounds like my little demon spawn is at the back door. So we'll get his little ass up in here and we will try this one on him when we're done. Hopefully he's not too muddy. It rained just about all day yesterday. So, but it was, God, it was so fucking windy. It was so windy. I probably need to just get my manual out. I probably do. And look it over and all that good stuff. Okay. So, now, where's my thingy? My singy. And if you guys don't know what this is a seam guide. This will help you sew straight lines. I've been sewing since I was 5 years old, and I still can't sew a straight line. So, all you do, it's a magnet. So, if you have a magnetic needle plate, it's going to work just fine. You just lower your presser foot, and I press it right up against that presser foot, and there we go. So now, all we need to do here, and that's going to help guide us to get a nice straight line. Straight line number 1. Well, sort of straight anyways, I guess. Okay, so I can take that pin out so I don't jab it in myself, and I can take that pin out so I don't jab myself. So, just like the other one, I don't sew across this way, because when I turn this inside out, this little itty bitty bit is going to be tucked up inside anyway, so I just don't mess with it. son of a bitch. I didn't change my fucking bobbin thread. Well, it's okay. We have embroidery bobbin thread on there instead of regular bobbin thread. Fuck a duck, man. It's alright, it's okay. But we will need the red bobbin thread for the next part. So, alrighty. So again, the whole point of making sure that our embroidery piece here was nice and pliable and not too stiff was because we have to turn this inside out now. And it's really easy. You just go through the top piece here. That this is where your collar goes through. I'll get my model in from his outside adventures here in a minute. And it just goes through that little hole. So you don't have to worry about, you know, top stitching over anything. It just comes right out of that hole. And all that good stuff. And then let me just make sure that we're all nice and lined up and stuff. Undone, redone, done. And then I'll take and I'll work a little bit of that point out. And then if I need to tuck any of it back in, I'll tuck some back in. Because it's okay. Alright, so there's our bandana. Now we just need to give it, again, a little press. Just a little pressy press. Just to make sure we've got everything nice and even and all that jazz. Because we will be doing a top stitch. And I probably... And sometimes if I have to, I'll take and stick something down in there to get my lines a little more even. That's getting stuck. Shit. Get stuck. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to use that again. Scissors. I usually use scissors. I don't know why I just didn't get the damn scissors to begin with. So I'll take and I'll start it off doing that, and then I'll press it. Because that just makes it a little more, it makes the edge a little more straight if you take and you kind of get off, you know, you have a little wiggle in it, it'll help make it a little straighter. So, yeah, because we had a little wiggle. We had a little wiggle, which is okay. Wiggles are fine. We don't mind. Nobody's, you know, 100% perfect. I saw a, like a Coach purse that had some wiggles in it one time, and I was like, meh, it's okay. And then we'll press our end there to make sure that it doesn't poke back out or anything. Alrighty, so for all intents and purposes, this is actually supposed to be the bottom. So whenever I make dog bandanas that have like a themed pattern or anything like this, this is always going to be the front or the top, and then the back side back here is going to be something like a solid color, or a small pattern of sorts, but this one I was just playing around, so I mean, you know, Braun doesn't give a shit. He licks himself. He doesn't care. And I always try to go a little slower when I'm back stitching, just because I don't like it when it looks off. That's just me. I don't like it when it looks off, and all that stuff. So that's why I go a little bit slower when I'm back stitching. And these really, they don't take all that long to make. It's just the way I was doing it today. I haven't made any of these in a hot minute, so I was a little rusty. My skills were rusty. So mother puss bucket. And that is why I try to slow down, because then we get off of our spot. And of course, it doesn't help that this table kind of bounces all over the place and all that stuff, so. Okay, so now here's our bandana, minus the fuck up there on the side. It's fine. It's okay. Alright, so now I need to go get my model out of the mud. I'll be right back. But yeah, I gotta get the pup. I gotta get the pup. Some new clothes. Yeah, I got you some new clothes to wear. How muddy are your feet? Come here. Come here. How let's check your feet. How dirty are your feet? Oh, your feet aren't dirty. Come on. Okay. Oh gosh. Why do you always go limp on me when I pick you up like this? Because you know. Okay. Can you sit? So this one, this is the one that we made at the beginning of the stream. And he's had it outside, so it's a little, we did this one differently. And like I was saying, how I would normally have this side right here, hi buddy, as the front, I would normally do a pattern, like a small pattern like this on the back or something. if I wasn't doing any kind of embroidery or anything like that. So these are totally reversible. You just pull them out of the collar, and it's really, really easy. The opening is measured. Well, not, it's not measured. Okay, so the sizing goes off of your dog's collar. This is an extra small collar, I think. I think this was his puppy collar, and he ate his other collar off, so I had to just act quickly. But that's how you would gauge. Like, if your dog wears an extra large collar, then you would make the extra large, and so on. Generally, I make him the extra small bandanas, but I just wanted to see. Hey, boo boo, what are you doing? What are you doing? Come on. Hey, look, it's Paw Patrol. Yeah, it's Paw Patrol. You like Paw Patrol. He has a Paw Patrol blanket. He has a Paw Patrol food bowl. He's my little Paw Patroller. Yeah, he is. Can you stand up? Can you stand up? We gotta show off your bandana. We gotta show it. Oh, we forgot a stitch. We forgot to cut a jump stitch. I'm not cutting your hair, so just sit there for a second. Okay, can you stand up? Come on. Turn yourself around here, sir. Yeah, there's his little cute bandana. Let's move your little butt over this way. Don't you be... You're rude. You is rude. And these are actually, they're small enough. Not small enough. They're short enough in the width area to where you don't need like a buttonhole or anything for the leash loop. Why is your tummy growling? You're making funny noises. Do you need to go back outside? And all that. So now that I've got the stabilization part pretty well where I think it needs to be, I will start getting these stitched up and all that good stuff. You can also, with this pattern, again, the bandana pattern is not mine. The embroidery design is mine. So it's supposed to be stitched like a top stitch through here to hold the collar and stuff. I think it looks ugly. I don't like it, so I don't do it. But if you like this dog bandana pattern, it comes in 5 different sizes. And I got it off of this blog called See Kate Sew. And it says to put interfacing in it. I don't put interfacing in it just because I don't like it. Sir, you're going to roll off if you keep moving. Yeah, he is. So yeah, that is going to be it for me today. I need to get a few little things ironed out with some of these other designs, and then I am actually hoping that I will have these designs up by Friday. I know I've got a lot of work to do because I've got that craft show next week, but I am still going to try to get these designs out for you guys. This is a perfect 4x4 hoop little project, and yeah, everybody loves dogs. Everybody loves their dog. Every pup needs some clothes, right? You need clothes? You love your clothes. You got new clothes today. Hey, I'm still on, and we are actually just fixing to end. We finished... come on, sit your little butt back up here. Come on, don't, no. Behave. We finished our little bandana. He looks so precious. I definitely do think that, whatever. Just whatever. The tearaway stabilizer was the better option. And like with the way it's on here, you can't even really tell that it's got some puckers on it, just because of things. So, oh, careful, don't bonk your head. All right, so there we have it. We've got our cute little bandana. Don't we? We've got our cute little bandanas. I will put this replay back up on YouTube. I haven't been doing it here lately just because of, I don't know. But I think this one will be a good companion to show how to make these bandanas. So anyways, if you guys would like to... So I used both of them. I used the tearaway and the sticky. The sticky stabilizer is a tearaway stabilizer too. So I used both of them. But I do believe that it should be tearaway stabilizer in the hoop and sticky stabilizer on the back of the fabric. I think is the way it should be. I will play with it a little bit more, but yeah, so as he sits here and licks my hand, this is what he does. He's a licking dog. I don't know. He's weird, but yeah. So if you guys want to keep in the loop of whenever these designs come out, you can join my Facebook group. I post everything there first. It's linked in my bio. I'm taking my hand away. You're weird. And I always post everything like the day before I post it anywhere else. Kind of the perks for joining my Facebook group, you get to know everything first. Just like you also get free stuff, and you get a choice, you get to have a say-so in some of the things that we do, huh, buddy? And all that good stuff. So yeah. And also, if you would like to donate to my channel in any way, I do have a Ko-Fi account set up, and you can make donations there. It's kind of like a tip jar. You know, if you want to add a little something to the tip jar, you are more than welcome to. You do not have to if you don't want to, but, you know, some people do. Some people, you know... It's not something that I've added purely myself. I've had several people ask about it, so there's that. Anyways, all of my links are in my bio. All of my embroidery designs right now are 30% off on my website until the end of the month. And I will see everybody again really, really soon. Bye. Can you wave bye? Can you say bye? Of course not. You're a little jerk. Bye!